Alright everybody, I just fed the Gourami tank again, and on cue I was hoping my Striped Raphael would come out. I've done some rearranging to his cave recently, and I opened it up and made it much wider, hoping we would see him more, but unfortunately he is actually taken to hiding in the far left, all the way up against the glass now. He actually has to lie in there on his side in order to fit in there. But that's where he spends his days now, so I see even less of him until he comes out to feed. And I've been trying to actually throw the food a little more towards the center of the tank and draw him out further so I can see him actually swimming around a little more rather than just kind of darting out, grabbing something and darting back in like he used to. So tonight we put some high carry sinking algae wafers in there, and everybody loves those. I put some in on this side of the tank, sort of towards the middle but to the left, and then I put some in on the right hand side of the tank for all my loaches and everything to be able to get to. So it won't be long before the Gouramis realize I didn't put any flake food in there for them, and they will turn their attention to the bottom of the tank, and we will maybe get to see some Gouramis doing some handstands as they pick the algae wafers off the bottom, because everybody loves those algae wafers. Ideally though, I'm trying to get some good footage of my catfish swimming around like that. And earlier today I did the same thing, and he actually was up and over top of the rocks and swimming around in the water column in the tank, and it was really impressive. He's a really neat fish, and as big and dumpy and round as he looks, he actually moves quite gracefully when he gets out into the water and just cruises around like he's not in any hurry to do anything. So I'm really enjoying him. Really good fish. I can't believe how big and fat he's getting. So I suppose that's my fault. I do spoil him and everybody else. All my fish get way overfed. That does give me more tank maintenance to do, and I have to, watch my organics and so on and so forth. But it's worth it to me because I love my big, fat, beautiful fish. They all have lovely colors all over them, and they are all good and healthy. Now, he is back in his little corner right there, and that's exactly what I'm talking about. You don't really see much of him. I can see more of him than is showing up on camera. It's really dark, but I can see him well enough. But that's about the look I get. I get to see his face poking out of that dark hole, as opposed to seeing him swim around in the tank as much as he used to. But that's okay, because he still comes out, and he's getting bigger and bigger, and one of these days I'm imagining he's going to wind up in my 125, because I think he's probably going to wind up outgrowing this 55 that he's in. There's a good look at my opaline Gourami. Now that she's down near the bottom, you can get a good look at how fat she is. She is a real piggy. Everybody comments on how fat she is, and I'm also happy with my snakeskin here. This is a female as well. All the Gouramis in this tank are females. I've had issues with male Gouramis, and I will say, as a word of caution, being that this is my Gourami tank, Gouramis obviously can be community fish, but it took me a lot of work to get this community set up where I've got all fish in here that are not aggressive with each other, and that involved getting rid of all the males. And I even had a dispute between this opaline and another opaline that was in the tank, and she bullied the other one until it eventually died, because you can see she's fairly dominant fish in this tank. But Gouramis can be aggressive, especially the 3-spots in my experience. The 3-spots are probably more aggressive than the others. But again, with caution, they can be used. I definitely don't recommend having multiple males in a tank. I personally don't recommend males at all. I've got a male snakeskin in my 125 who is a pretty cool fish, but he's also alone. He has no other males in the tank with him, plus he has no female. The reason there's a snakeskin in this tank and one in that tank is because he could not be kept in the same tank with this female because he was just too sexually aggressive with her and was just harassing her to death. And then the tension between them and her hiding and him chasing, it just put the entire tank on edge. This was back when it was in my African tank, and they were considerably smaller than they are now. I can't imagine having these two together now, because he's about the same size as she is, and she's probably a good 8 inches, maybe even pushing 9 inches total length now. Like I say, she's getting nice and thick. She's a big girl. I like my snakeskins. They're cool Gouramis. I think they're underrated Gouramis too. I don't think people give them enough credit. They are a large Gourami, so you do need, I would say, at least a 55-gallon tank or minimum. Bigger than that maybe. But if you got the room for them and you don't mind subtlety, because you know that's pretty obvious, they're not a flashy, colorful fish. They don't look like the gold or the gourami or the opaline. They certainly don't have that beautiful coloration of the moonlight. But they are a beautiful fish in their own right, and they are a great fish. I just love my snake skins. So I definitely recommend them if you've got the room for them. If not, you know, go ahead and do one of these smaller species of gouramis if you want, but just be cautious about it. Do not take them for being as friendly as everybody seems to make out that they are. They're not quite as friendly and community safe as they are often listed as. So that's my 2 cents on gouramis. Not really sure how we ended up there. I was hoping we could get some video of my catfish, and I suppose we did. But most of my videos usually wander around like this. Here's my other moonlight gourami. She's staying down here. And even the moonlights, which are fairly docile by gourami standards, there's clearly a pecking order between the one moonlight who is more dominant and tends to stay out in the tank amongst the other gouramis, and then the one who is less dominant, and she often stays back there or stays very separated from the group. Now, she seems healthy enough. She's never harassed to the point where she's not eating properly. She's not getting picked on. She doesn't have any damage. There's no broken fins or anything like that. She's just very clearly not a part of the group, and she stays over on this side of the tank. So it's kind of a shame. They would be beautiful all swimming around together, but it's quite often like this. You will see all of my other girls over here around this beautiful island of lace leaf water sprite. And then that other moonlight gourami is all by herself on the other side of the tank. So even when you've got a community that works, there's still often issues with gouramis. They are not as friendly as everybody seems to think. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed that. Hope that was helpful if you were thinking about getting some gouramis, and I hope you enjoyed seeing my catfish there way back at the beginning of this video. If you're not already subscribed, please do so. That way you won't miss any of these spur of the moment videos. And I thank you for watching this one, and I hope to see you on the next one.